Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. The current occupant of the White House struggles to read a coherent sentence from the teleprompter. But 40 years ago, the White House was occupied by a great communicator.
9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
President Reagan's words were never truer than they are now. 1 month ago, the Mississippi governor was viciously attacked by the press. His plan was to let COVID-19 run its course, and this made Vanity Fair and CNN very angry. At the time that article was written, COVID-19 cases in Mississippi had already declined 50%, and now they're down almost to pre-Delta variant spike levels. The governor understood that the virus was following the standard FAR curve, which has been understood by scientists for the past 180 years. The governor was following the real science, not the fake science which drives Vanity Fair and CNN. Mississippi is one of the least vaccinated states. In this video, we're going to look at 3 other states as well. Colorado, which is highly vaccinated, Wyoming, which is the least vaccinated state, and Vermont, which is the most vaccinated state. Despite being the most vaccinated state, Vermont has seen a record number of infections. Since that Vanity Fair article was written attacking Mississippi, cases in Vermont have spiked to a record high. Vermont did everything which Vanity Fair and CNN said they should do, and it's not working out very well for them. Here's an article from the Associated Press. Virus surge hits New England despite high vaccination rates. Despite nation's highest vaccination rate, Vermont COVID-19 cases remain high. And there's a similar story in Colorado. Despite being one of the most vaccinated states, cases there are skyrocketing. This article from yesterday says that the governor of Colorado is considering rationing health care. Colorado sounds like a mess, but just north of the border here in Wyoming, cases are dropping dramatically. And we are the least vaccinated state in the country. We have about the same population as Vermont, the most vaccinated state. But cases in Vermont are spiking, and here in mostly unvaccinated Wyoming, cases are declining. Meanwhile, across the pond, the UK government has reported their latest COVID vaccination statistics. Over the past 3 weeks, infection rates in vaccinated adults have been much higher than those in unvaccinated adults. For children, the story is different. Infection rates for unvaccinated children are higher than those who are vaccinated, but death rates for unvaccinated children in the UK are 0.0. Whatever these infections are among unvaccinated children, they're not killing them. There are some pretty strong patterns emerging which advocates of big government refuse to see. I grew up during the Vietnam War and have watched government create one disaster after another. And since then, Democrats have gotten even worse. Now they believe they can control both viruses and bad weather via the use of lockdowns and other forms of tyranny. We are currently living in one of the most idiotic times in human history. Joe Biden can barely complete a coherent sentence, but now he's going to save the climate with just one more scam climate agreement. Almost every year for the past 30 years, government leaders have gotten together and said they were going to reduce their CO2 emissions. Yet the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere continues to grow at increasing rates. And this year, the world's #1 CO2 emitter, China, is not even showing up in Glasgow. Nothing Biden's doing will have any impact on the climate, but he is succeeding in destroying the U.S. economy and morale in this country at a record rate. Toto has been exposing these clowns for the past 13 years. You can visit him, Kyrie, and Caesar on the web at RealClimateScience.com.